And then there was a unique question which I never heard of before. Like, the interviewer asked me that, assume that you are Kunal Shah, you are the CEO of Cred. So how would you want to set your North Star for Cred? I think the other question was why I really want to become a product manager. And again, speaking, I was able to tie this to my entire story. Like, everything I was doing was for getting into product manager role. That was the whole point of doing an MBA. But
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the another episode of Product Management Interview Experience. I am Sugat, your host, currently working as a product manager at Meta. And today we have Abhishek, who has recently joined BrowserStack as a product manager. Welcome, Abhishek.
hi, Sugat. Thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, and really excited to be part of your YouTube channel today to discuss about my browser stack experience.
Thank you so much, and thanks a lot for being part of this podcast. In this episode, we're gonna be hearing about the entire interview experience of Abhishek, how he applied to BrowserStack, and how he got through all the rounds. This interview experience is based on ISB campus placement. So keep watching video till end if you would like to know more about BrowserStack as a company and how does they hire PM. So without any further ado, let's get started. Abhishek, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Abhishek Thamman, and I'm a 2019 graduate from IIT BHU RNSE, and I started my first job as a software developer straight out from college, and I joined SAP. So at SAP, I worked on the one of the HCM solutions there, and that was the time, I think, when I first got introduced to the role of product manager. Like, I actually got to work with them and really understand more about the role. At that time, I thought that it would be really an early decision to like think about transitioning into the PM role. So I took an informed decision about like being in the software development career, and like try to learn more about software development in general, and on the side also learn more about the PM role. So then I switched to Oracle. I worked in the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, Identity and Access Management team, and so after spending around like 1 year there, that is when I always had at the back of my mind that I wanted to get into product management. And then I thought that it would be the right time to do that, and that is when I decided to do an MBA. And I recently graduated from Indian School of Business in March this month, and I got a job at BrowserStack as an associate product manager uh, from campus placements, and I've been working in BrowserStack for like 2 weeks now, and yeah, I mean. It's yeah, I mean, pretty excited about being part of such a great organization.
Interesting journey, Abhishek, and yeah, kudos to you on converting that interview campus placement. uh, I would like to understand something, Abhishek. Like, I've spoken to a lot of PMs so far, and they somehow the other break into product management either by switching, through internal transfer. Why did you decided to have an MBA and not try any other options?
Yeah, I think broadly speaking, if I have to say that if you want to transition into a PM role from software engineering background, either you can make an internal transfer to the same company, or if you're working in a startup, you might want to be a de facto PM where you take on those extra responsibilities of what a product manager does. Or the other way is to like apply externally to get a PM job, and the last one is the PM, which I chose. So, sorry, the MBA, which I chose. And For me, the biggest reason I would say why I wanted to choose the MBA path was that I have always believed in having strong foundations, right? So I always thought that having that business knowledge through an MBA course, doing that courses, and having uh, access to some of the great faculty and getting to know about the entire business, I might, get a head start while I'll be actually working as a product manager in the future. So yeah, but I would want to mention one thing, that MBA is absolutely not necessary for everyone. If you want to land into a PM job, you can always learn on the go, right, on the job. And learning through experience is something which cannot be substituted. So it was a very informed decision that I made. And yeah, I think the other reasons why one would want to do an MBA to get into a PM role is that you get access to that like-minded individuals who sit with you, who share the same goals as you do, and they prepare along with you. And it gets very easy when you have that kind of environment with you. And yeah, and doing an MBA from grade school also comes with having that access to alumni network, right? So yeah, that was an added bonus, I would believe. But yeah, there's a caveat to it. So doing an MBA comes with a huge opportunity cost, and I think one should definitely do that evaluation and take a decision that if MBA is the right choice for anyone wanting to transition into a PM role through MBA.
Absolutely agree, Abhishek, and I really liked your answer of the reason of saying building a good foundation base, which is really important. And there are multiple ways, but yep, really acknowledge your candid response of pursuing an MBA to break into product management. Uh,
Thanks.
Before we move to the interview things, right, Abhishek, I think would love to understand a bit about, BrowserStack as a company, what it does, and if you can share it with the audience who might not be aware about BrowserStack.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to do that. I think BrowserStack is a pretty young organization. It has been it has been now been there for more than a decade. But yeah, to give a brief about it, what does the company really do? I would say BrowserStack provides a cloud-based solution to test websites and mobile applications cross-platform. So I mean, it gives you those access to different kind of devices and operating system for you to do testing of your websites or mobile applications, right? So it's basically a product made for mostly developers and QAs, who are like, it's a B2B product for anyone who is building a website or a mobile application and you want to do that testing. So I think a browser stack provides you that solution. And I would want to say that this is a definition which was more applicable in the past. Browser stack has like exponentially grown to provide many more solution. And currently it has the vision to be the like testing infrastructure for the internet. And yeah, I think it's on the right track for that. And uh, yeah, I think that is in a nutshell what browser stack really does.
Thanks a lot. I think this is pretty interesting to set some context for the audience about the browser stack, and I believe the interview process might be somewhere related to about the company domain, culture, and vision. So yeah, let's keep rolling and hear about your entire interview experience. I do understand this is a campus placement, so let us know how was the experience and about the browser stack and end-to-end story.
Yeah, so this is how the browser stack hiring process looked like for me. So we started with a pre-interview round, which was basically a resume and case study shortlist. So we were asked to submit our resume, and along with that, we were given a case problem. which we were supposed to make a submission for. So I think BrowserStack is kind of different from other companies in a way, because most of the other companies, they do the resume shortlist first and then ask you to do a case submission and then give the next shortlist. But BrowserStack asked us to submit both in the beginning, and after the shortlist, there were 3 rounds of interview. And again, I think BrowserStack is different from other companies in a way that I think most of these interviews were heavily based on the case submission that I made as part of my pre-interview round.
Moving on, yeah, I think that's a good stuff, Abhishek. Let's keep moving with your case study thing, and how did you approach sort of thing, the case study, as well as what were the kind of next steps.
Yeah, thanks, Sugat. So we are talking about the case study. I think BrowserStack was again different in a way that it gave us a case study which was related to their own products. Problem was to increase the adoption for that. So, yeah, I think listening to this problem, I was like pretty blown away at first, because this was something which I've never used, and this was like a B2B product. How do I really get to use it? And so, yeah, I think it was really important to get your hands dirty if you want to like build a good case submission out of it. So I went ahead, tried out the product. Luckily, there was like a trial version of it. And I think that really helped me understand the product a lot more. And if you don't know the product, how do you solve for it? So I think that was a good starting point for me. And I think the other thing that helped me was that I did my research, both primary as well as secondary research. I was able to get in touch with one of my friends who was into testing and who was actually using these BrowserStack products. So I was able to kind of have a customer interview with them, and I reached out to a few other startups as well who were using BrowserStack products. So I got pretty like great insights from them, and also like I researched about who all the competitors are. So this is something which really helped me to begin to like start my case study round. And I think then it was pretty easy. Like I understood about who my users really are, what are their pain points, and I was able to create a customer journey map. And then the next task was to like prioritize those pain points and recommend solutions. um, I think I would want to mention something here is that whenever someone is trying to make those case submission, it's very important to like stand apart from the rest of the case submission. So what really helped me here was that I was not fixed on that this is the template I'm going to follow, that I'm not actually only going to be stuck with the RISE framework. If I was thinking that this is the slide I would want to add and which would like show that I have actually put in that effort, I added those slides. So I created slide on user interviews, and I wanted to like make my submission stand apart from the rest, uh, and make it more interesting for the reader to read, and like break that monotony of going through different case submissions. And I think that would have really helped me. And I think the last step for approaching the case submission round is that it's very important to mention the trade-offs that come with your solutions. Uh, Mostly, whenever we are interviewing for the PM role, I think many times we miss mentioning the trade-offs. So it's very important to like mention the assumptions that you might have made, or because as a PM, it's a great skill to have that you are thinking about the product in its entirety and not missing out anything. So it's really important to mention, like, if you're mentioning some metrics, what could be the scenario where this metrics could give you like misleading results. Metrics is giving you like the product is doing really great, but the reality is something different. So I mentioned those trade-offs. I dedicated an entire slide to it, and I think that is how I approached the case submission. Yeah.
What I really liked over here was your approach of user interviews, which most of the candidates I've seen generally skip it because lack of time. uh, and that what can make you stand out of the competition when you actually talk to the users. Maybe it's less than five or few users in that short time, but you get that ample good insights that might brush up your submission in an altogether different way. So I really like that when you told that you actually found some of your friends and startups who were using BrowserStack and spoke to them and got those insights, right? uh, Thanks a lot again, Abhishek, for walking us through the case study and your approach of tackling it. Uh, let's keep moving with the upcoming rounds. What happened after the case submission and the shortlisting process and the upcoming interviews at BrowserStack?
Yeah, so good. So yeah, after the shortlist, I think there were around one third of us who got shortlisted for the interviews, and so my first round was with a product manager who was working at BrowserStack for the past 3 years, and the questions were both based on the case submission that I made and related to my work experience. So the interviewer herself, she had been a software developer in the past and was very tech savvy, and she asked me questions in a lot of depth about my work experience. So there was a project that I was doing at Oracle, and so she cross questioned me multiple times about every approach that I took and why I solved a certain problem in that particular way. So I think what she was really trying to assess was if I am able to deal with ambiguity, because that is a skill that you need to have as a product manager. And so why did I choose one solution over the other? So I think I was able to answer these questions really well. And yeah, the idea was to stay confident, and yeah, because work experience is generally something which you are very comfortable at, and yeah, I was able to do well in those. Then she asked me to share my screen and I walked her through my entire case submission. So it was in the first part of this, I was the only one who was talking. I was walking her through my entire submission, telling her what I understand about the problem, and why I took certain decisions. So the interviewer here was really assessing if I have understood the problem well, or if like I have thought through the solutions enough or not, and if I'm able to tie back everything to the main goal, which was related to increasing customer adoption, basically. So yeah, I think a tip here would be that what I have really observed in all these case submissions is that your features and solutions don't matter that much as your approach and your understanding of the solution does. So it's really important to signal that clarity, that you have thought well and you have put that effort. So yeah, and I think after that was done, there were some questions regarding the submission. Like, what really helped me tackle these questions in a, I think, in a good way is that I was able to, I was thinking more like a tester myself. So I was showing that skill of empathizing with the customer. So so I tried to put myself in the situation of a tester, and what would I have preferred? Would I want a cloud solution here, or would I want something that I could do on my local machine, and I don't want a cloud solution for that. So I think yeah, I was able to tackle that answer well, because I was really wearing that customer hat and answering that question. The other thing was the other question was related to my favorite product. It's a pretty common question in these PM interviews, and so I was very prepared for it. And I think what the interviewer really liked about my answer was that I was not sticking to some common framework, and I was like tweaking it the way I liked. and not missing any points. So the tip to answer the favorite product question would be that always sound passionate about the product, because it's your favorite product. So you need to own it. You want to speak about it with passion, and it's very important to have a perspective about your product, both in a positive as well as a negative way. You need to tell that why it is your favorite product, why do you not like some other competitor, or you also need to have a perspective about what is the product really lacking. This is something I don't like about my favorite product. And then there was a unique question which I never heard of before. Like, the interviewer asked me that, think assume that you are Kunal Shah, you are the CEO of Cred, so how would you want to set your north star for Cred? And the round ended with, like, if I have any questions for the interviewer, and I always make sure that I don't miss this opportunity to ask those questions to the interviewer, to signal how interested I am in the company. And yeah, I would recommend everyone to have, like, think about it, what really you want to ask the interviewer beforehand. And you might want to, like, ask some uh, unique kind of questions, and not anything which is there on Google or typically any interviewer would ask. So I think that really helped me to connect with the interviewer a lot more, and I was able to show my interest in the role and in the company as well.
Thanks a lot, Abhishek, again for have this detailed walkthrough of your round one. Not only the kind of questions which are being asked, but also the way you approach to this. Yeah, would love to keep hearing on the upcoming rounds as well. So yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Sugat. So let's talk about the second round, which was more like a case study plus product design round, I would say. But yeah, it was again very heavily based on my case submission that I did. And it was not like the previous interview, because here both of us were constantly talking, and there was a lot of cross questioning happening on every decision that I took. And I think the interviewer again was trying to make sure that if that I have put the right amount of effort in understanding the problem statement, or and if I have given those solution, do I really, uh, have I just given them for the sake of it, or do I really believe that this is something which can help BrowserStack increase adoption for their products? So I think one of the question that was asked to me was related to prioritization. So there were, like, four features which I had suggested, and I was asked a lot of questions that why I'm trying to prioritize one feature over the other, and what is the thought process related to that. So I had to explain through the entire, like, what is the impact this feature is going to have, and what is the effort that is required to build this feature. So we had a long discussion on that. And yeah, then there was a question of, like, how would I validate my hypothesis of, like, these features are going to benefit the customers and make a positive impact on the metrics. So I gave the approach of, like, A/B testing my features. And I would say it was kind of a grilling interview, because yeah, I think I was pretty drained after this round. I thought I'd lost the battle. I'm not There's no way I'm going to get called for the next round. But yeah, luckily I got the call for the next round. Yeah. So this is how my second interview went.
Nice. So I believe since this is a placement, all this are happening in a single day in a span of within few hours, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct. That's correct.
Cool. Cool. I think interesting stuff. Thanks, Abhishek, again for sharing the round two. And let's move to the round three.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, then the last round was more of a leadership and behavioral round. So there was a senior director of product who was interviewing me, and So the round was basically based on assessing if I was really interested in the company and the role, and assessing my knowledge about the testing industry in general and about the browser stack products. And what I observed throughout this particular interview was that uh, I think it is making much more sense now when I have joined BrowserStack. So there is a list of like 13 core principles which BrowserStack has, and every question and every answer that I was giving, the interviewer was really judging me based on those core principles. So yeah, I think and the other thing which the round revolved around was like seeing if I'm the right cultural fit, if I know enough about the company. So I made sure to learn a lot about the company, about their values, their mission statement, and what is who all are in their leadership team. So I think because I had done this exercise beforehand, so I was able to um, signal like I really know a lot about the company, and I'm really interested in the role. I think the other question was why I really want to become a product manager. And again, speaking, I was able to tie this to my entire story. Like everything I was doing was for getting into product manager role. That was the whole point of doing an MBA. But doing an MBA, of course, came with a lot other things than giving me that product manager role. But because I had that clarity, which I mentioned in the previous part of our discussion, that I had the clarity why I really wanted to get into product management. So I was able to answer this question really well, and the interviewer also seemed pretty convinced with my answer. The other question that was asked from me was like, what are the skills or learnings from my experience which I can directly bring to use when I'll be working as a product manager at BrowserStack? So I was able to mention a few things like I was a software developer, so I'm pretty good at having. I have that technical understanding. I have done stakeholder management in the past, and so these are some crucial product management skills and which I had already shown in the past. So these were something which I could really use directly when I'll be working as a PM at BrowserStack. And I also mentioned that what are some of the skills which I do not currently have, but I will learn when I'll be working as a PM. So giving an example, customer empathy. You can't have customer empathy unless you are actually doing those customer interviews and you are hearing their perspectives. So yeah, I mentioned all of those. And I think one thing that really went in my favor was that the senior director also came while the pre-placement talk at our campus happened, and so I was present in the pre-placement talk, and so I brought out a thing while asking him questions about something that he has mentioned. He mentioned about recent acquisition that BrowserStack did. So I was able to like ask him a lot of questions about it, which again showed that I was attentive during that pre-placement talk, and I've heard clearly about it. I have a perspective about it, and because now I knew the entire profile of that person, I was able to also ask him like questions like how has your experience. So the director had worked at Microsoft in the past, so I asked him like how has your experience at BrowserStack been any different from all of the other companies that you have worked in the past, like Microsoft. Yeah, this is how the round three ended.
I suppose that was the final round, right? And you got an offer after that.
Yeah, that's correct. I got an offer late in the night post
Okay.
this round.
Awesome. I think this was such a detailed video, Abhishek, and thanks a lot. Really appreciate you walking us through the entire round one by one with each of the detailed questions, and your approach of answering those. I'm pretty sure that audience would definitely find it useful. So yeah, I think but thank you so much for being part of the channel. And folks who are watching till now, please like, share, and subscribe this channel so that it reaches out to many more candidates, and keep motivating me to upload many more videos. Stay tuned for the next upcoming videos. Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Thanks, Sugat. Thanks a lot for having me. I think it was a great discussion with you, and your channel is like coming out with some great stuff every week, and these videos are really helpful and making jobs and making easy uh, for getting landing up that PM job for PM aspirants. Yeah. So thanks so much for having me.
Yep. Thank you.